Ohio is a state built on industry, tragedy, forgotten history, and stories that never stayed buried. Across its cities, its hospitals, its prisons, and its quiet back roads, there are places where the past still feels close enough to touch. Places where people report whispers in empty halls, figures moving behind windows, footsteps above sealed rooms, and the kind of silence that feels heavier than sound. Tonight, we're counting down the 10 most haunted places in Ohio. And as we go deeper, one thing becomes clear. These are not just old buildings. These are places with memories, and some memories refuse to leave. Originally known as the Athens Lunatic Asylum, the Ridges opened in the 1800s to care for the mentally ill at a time when treatment was brutal, isolating, and often deeply inhumane. Over the decades, thousands of patients passed through its doors, many never leaving under their own power. The building's reputation for paranormal activity grew long after it closed. Visitors and staff have reported voices in empty wings, unexplained cold spots, shadowy figures in the windows, and the feeling of being watched from rooms that should be empty. One of the most haunting parts of the Ridges is the atmosphere itself. Even in daylight, the long corridors seem to hold on to something. The structure feels less like an abandoned hospital and more like a place still occupied by invisible guests. The stories from this place are not just about ghosts. They are about suffering that became part of the building itself. Franklin Castle is one of Ohio's most famous haunted houses, and its reputation is built on decades of strange events, family tragedies, and rumors that never fully disappeared. The mansion's dark architecture alone is enough to unsettle most people, but the legends surrounding it go even further. Reports from inside the house include hidden rooms, unexplained noises, flickering lights, footsteps on upper floors, and the sound of doors opening and closing when no one is there. Some stories claim the castle has been haunted by the spirits of former residents, while others connect the house to a history of grief and death that seems to cling to the walls. The building's maze-like interior makes every shadow feel deliberate. Every stairwell looks like it leads into a story no one wants to finish. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Franklin Castle has the kind of presence that makes people lower their voices when they step inside. The Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield was built to reform prisoners, but over time it became known for harsh conditions, violence, and despair. Thousands of inmates lived and died within its walls, and many of those deaths are said to have left a permanent mark on the building. Today, it is one of the most well-known haunted prisons in America. Visitors report seeing full-body apparitions, hearing cell doors slam, sensing unseen hands, and feeling sudden pressure in empty areas of the prison. One of the most reported phenomena is the presence of a woman in white, seen drifting through the upper levels. Its most famous connection to pop culture came later, but long before that, the prison had already earned its reputation as a place where the dead may still be serving time. Mansfield Reformatory does not feel abandoned. It feels paused. Ohio University is more than a school. According to local legend, parts of the campus are built on land that was once tied to burial grounds, hospitals, and old institutions. Over the years, students and staff have reported a range of paranormal experiences across campus. One of the most famous stories surrounds Wilson Hall, where strange noises, phantom footsteps, and unexplained disturbances have been reported for years. Other areas of campus are said to be home to ghostly figures, sudden drops in temperature, and the uneasy sense that someone is walking just out of sight. What makes the campus especially eerie is the contrast. By day, it looks like a normal university town. By night, the same pathways, staircases, and dorm windows can feel unsettlingly alive. The stories here are a reminder that haunted places are not always abandoned. Sometimes they are still full of life, just not the kind you expect. Within Mansfield Reformatory, the East Cell Block is one of the most intensely reported paranormal areas. Its towering walls and stacked cells create a claustrophobic atmosphere that seems to amplify every sound. Visitors have described hearing chains, whispers, shouting, and the unmistakable sound of someone moving behind them. Some claim to see prison uniforms, glowing eyes, or a figure standing in the distance before vanishing into the darkness. The architecture itself seems to trap sound and shadow in unnatural ways. Even a single footstep can echo like it belongs to something larger. This part of the prison feels like a recording of pain playing over and over again. Despite its strange nickname, Halloween House has earned a place in Ohio ghost lore because of the unusual activity reported by those who live near or visit it. The house has long been associated with odd sightings, moving shadows, and unexplained voices. Stories about the property often focus on the feeling that someone is inside even when the house is empty. People have described objects shifting on their own, lights behaving strangely, and an overwhelming sense of dread near the building. What makes the location memorable is its ordinary appearance. It does not look like a haunted mansion from a movie. It looks like a house on a quiet street, which somehow makes it worse. Because sometimes the most unsettling places are the ones hiding in plain sight. Built in the 1800s, the Licking County Jail held prisoners in rough conditions, and over the years it became known for cruelty, death, and tragedy. The old jail has developed a strong paranormal reputation, tied to both inmates and prison staff. Visitors and investigators report footsteps in empty halls, cell doors opening on their own, unexplained knocking, and the sensation of being touched. Some say the emotional energy in the building is especially oppressive, as if the walls are holding on to years of fear and desperation. The jail's narrow corridors and old stone rooms create a sense of confinement that never fully goes away. It feels like every sound is magnified, every shadow sharpened. In a place like this, the line between history and haunting becomes almost impossible to separate. Moonville Tunnel is one of Ohio's most famous haunted locations, and its legend is tied to a forgotten railroad town that once stood nearby. Moonville was a small mining community that slowly vanished, leaving behind the tunnel that still bears its name. The most common stories involve the ghostly lantern of a railroad worker who was killed near the tracks. Others claim to hear footsteps, voices, and the sound of a train long after the rails went silent. Some visitors have reported seeing a pale figure near the tunnel entrance or feeling an unnatural drop in temperature as they walk through. The tunnel is unsettling even before the ghost stories begin. Surrounded by dense woods and swallowed by darkness, it feels cut off from the world. Moonville Tunnel is the kind of place where a single sound can change the entire mood of the night. The Buxton Inn has welcomed travelers for generations, but it has also developed a long-standing reputation for unexplained activity. Built in the early 1800s, the inn has seen countless guests, and some seem to have checked out without ever truly leaving. Reports include phantom footsteps, doors opening by themselves, mysterious voices, and objects moving when no one is nearby. Some rooms are said to feel particularly active, with guests describing a strong sensation that someone is standing beside the bed or watching from the corner of the room. The charm of the inn makes the haunting feel even stranger. It is beautiful, historic, and inviting, which creates a chilling contrast when the atmosphere suddenly turns cold. The Buxton Inn is proof that a welcoming place can still carry a very unwelcome presence. At the top of the list stands the Ohio State Reformatory, not just because of its size or appearance, but because of the sheer volume of ghostly reports surrounding it. This is a place where tragedy, punishment, and isolation collided for decades. Its history created the perfect conditions for lingering legends. Prisoners lived in severe conditions, violence was common, and death was never far away. Over time, people began reporting apparitions in the cell blocks, whispering voices in the dark, cold spots that moved through locked areas, and faces appearing in windows where no one should be standing. The reformatory does not just look haunted, it feels like a place with unfinished business. There is a reason this prison has become one of the most famous haunted locations in America. Its walls have absorbed too much history, too much pain, and too many final moments. Ohio's haunted history is more than folklore. It is a collection of places shaped by suffering, fear, loss, and time. From asylums and prisons to tunnels and inns, each location carries a story that refuses to disappear. And whether the hauntings are explained by history, memory, or something far stranger, one thing remains the same. These places still make people stop, listen, and look twice into the dark.